Hello, how are you? This is Chef Kepra, another installment in my YouTube series. Today I wanted to talk about being being raw in the wintertime. Um, over the last few weeks, we've all felt the change in the weather, and typically for most people, that means going towards comfort foods, foods that not only they're familiar with, but also sort of can raise your body temperature to make you feel comfortable, not only physically, but emotionally, and so forth. So the question is, if you have been following a certain diet, and a lot of people over the years have told me, oh, I do raw foods in the summertime. I eat like a lot more salads and fruits and things, and obviously those things are more so in season. So in the wintertime, obviously people go more towards the heavier, concentrated, starchier foods because again, it thickens the blood, and when it thickens the blood, that has a warming effect on the body. So can is it smart? Is it ideal to be raw in the winter? The short answer is absolutely yes. We can be raw in the winter. This is actually my first year doing raw was actually in the winter. So I started that December. So actually this coming December will mark 15 years. So 15. I've had 15 winters of doing raw foods, and it's not difficult. It can be challenging, and in this video, I want to talk about some of the hurdles that you may encounter and what you can do about that. Okay, so again, we talked about comfort foods. We talked about eating, some of the heavier, starchier foods. Obviously, with the raw foods, that would probably be the first thing, is that you would have to, if you like eating lots of fruits, or if you've been eating lots of fruits, you want to decrease your fruit intake and increase your greens and increase your nuts and seeds. Again, you have to maintain a balance, and we still are a water-based being or water-based vehicle, so we're always going to need moisture. We're always going to need water. But the thing is that if it's coming from a source where, like for example, on one side you have a lot of your fruits which can be very cooling in the body. Coconut water being the probably the number one. So if you're drinking a lot of coconut water cools the body, so you're going to feel extra cold drinking coconut water. And then it sort of falls like after coconut water, the melons, which obviously are in season in the summertime and for good reason. But some of the fruits, but actually, if we look at our citrus fruits are more of a winter food. So you would increase your citrus. That would increase your vitamin C intake, which would boost your immunity during those months. So the thing is that we can still do our coconut water. You want to increase your citrus. There's a lot of great citrus that comes into season during the winter months. So that's an indication. It's like what's in season, what's not in season. The other foods that are in season are squashes. So again, these are fruits. So we have our summer squashes in the summer, and then we have our winter squashes. So we don't have to cook the squash, in order to eat it. We can grate it. We can blend it, make a soup or a smoothie. Or like I said, you can grate it and you can have it in your salad. So they're they're very simple to use. You can even, in terms of the raw cuisine, if you grate, you can also use that as a base for, like, say, a lasagna or a vegetable pie. So you can get really creative, and we can integrate some of these foods that grow, plant foods that grow in this particular region of the world, and have them on a daily basis, because the foods that grow at this time of the year is more in sync with the climate, it's more in sync with the season, and that's going to be more in sync with us in terms of our physical body. One of the other things is that, so primary, the basic thing is that we want to, at least in terms of foods, we want to eat foods that, and we've been going through those, we want to eat foods that will generate or help to generate heat. And so obviously, if we look at the foods that help to warm the body, get the blood boiling, so to speak, we have to look at the foods that if we look at the those foods that will do that. At the top of the list would be our peppers, our hot peppers specifically. So, not only just, and again, we can have these peppers, and we can, in a culinary sort of sense, introduce, have these foods that we can make sauces and do different things with them, so that they get inside of us, and then that's going to help to generate the heat that we're looking for. So again, I like to make a sauce, but even if you're, like, say averse to the hot, spicier foods, you can use limited amounts, but it's good to sort of help, or it's good to have these foods, whether you may have an aversion, or especially if you have an aversion, because again, there may be something within your psychology that is going against, or that may be preventing you, and it may be a block, and you want to sort of change that, overcome that, because again, these foods encourage circulation, and that's the main thing that we're looking for. One of the other foods, again, of course, is also ginger. So ginger is a very, a lot of foods have ginger. You can buy already processed foods, but we want to take the fresh ginger and, include that in your juices. So again, like what I was talking about, coconut water. You can take coconut water and just, either in your blender, you could take a piece of ginger, throw the piece of ginger in there, blend that with your coconut water, or if you have a juicer, you can just juice the ginger. And that's a way to sort of spice up your coconut water, because coconut water is going to have the cooling effect. So, the ginger is going to have the opposite effect. And in the same breath, all of our different spices, like nutmeg, cinnamon, cardamom, a lot of the spices, turmeric, you find these spices that are very healing, but also, again, they encourage circulation. If you're doing like teas, or if you're doing milks, or both, these are excellent options. And again, these don't have to be heated up. They don't have to be cold temperature-wise, but they also don't have to be heated up. That's all psychological. But if you want them warm, that's fine. If you want to keep things on a raw food level. Another thing I personally like to do is ginseng. And you can buy ginseng in different forms. I like it when it's in the dry root, or they actually have slices of ginseng. and this is very, very, very warming. You know, and and I'm referring to the Korean red ginseng, not the American white ginseng. The Korean red ginseng is a hot food. It doesn't taste hot or spicy, but what it does is it warms the blood, and it definitely encourages circulation. So I find that to be definitely one of my go-tos as it gets cold. And the thing is that when you do these things, you can find like when you know when that cool air, like say, or that wind hits your skin, there's not you're not as sensitive, you know, to the, because again, if your body is warm, or if you feel warm from within, you're better able to withstand any cold air or cold temperatures, cold wind, etc. So that's going to be very, very important, is to have a dietary base. And then of course, you know, you know, I want to definitely stress the importance of green leafy vegetables, especially some of the spicier greens, um, like dandelion and what's the other one? It'll come to me. But all of your greens, turnip greens, a very spicy kind of green. Um, but any of your green leafy vegetables, that's going to form a good base. All of your greens are blood building, and we want to have those greens, you know, as a necessary base, you know, for your blood. Um, so again, we talked about pretty much a good dietary base. You know, limiting your fruit intake, at least your sweet fruit intake. You can do more of your. You can continue to do like things like if you eat like bananas, dates. Again, those are your more starchier fruits. They're going to definitely thicken the blood. But we want to get more into like the squashes, the pumpkin, the butternut squash, and some of the different hard squashes. And again, just because it's hard, you know, we can eat those things raw. We can always grate them. We can blend them. We can add water, and you know, there's lots of recipes online. Um, so those are some ideas and some reasons, some techniques in terms of foods. You know, so but yes, we talked about what you could do in terms of peppers, in terms of some of the spices that we can use. You know, we definitely want to experiment with our squashes. And then nuts and seeds. You know, nuts and seeds are always going to be, um, you know, a foundation. And definitely like seeds, like pumpkin seeds. You know, pumpkin seeds are great. Uh, Very high in zinc and iron and our different minerals. Hemp seeds are, you know, a lot of people consider a superfood, high in just about every mineral, um, and also in vitamins. Some of the other things that you can do, especially when, like, say, if you wanted to partake in a fast, again, you're going to be very sensitive to the colder temperatures. So if you're doing a fast, one thing you can do is, again, all the foods that I mentioned, you can transform into a juice. So, so, so in terms of, you know, we can do green juices, you can do your nut milks or your seed milks, and then you can also include those spices within within those juices. So that's a way to you know, get that energy, that warming energy into your body. But if you're doing a fast, especially a longer fast, I would suggest you know, taking warm Epsom salt baths. That's definitely going to get the blood flowing, and that's what we want. And so that's definitely something you can just do even daily, because even being raw during winter, you know, your blood is going to flow easier, and that's a good thing. The thing is that when it gets cold, your body, again, you're going to be more sensitive to the cold. So if you're doing more baths and things, that's going to help to offset. It's going to better you're going to be more able to tolerate the colder temperatures. Another technique, and again, this is something for your own research, and for you to discover, in Tibet, like some of the Tibetan monks. If you look at, I've seen different pictures where they're walking barefoot in the snow, and they're meditating, in ice water, so they're able to do these things where we can sort of quiver at. But the thing is that basically they're just using their specialized meditation techniques. And I think in any meditation, it's just a matter of enforcing, or using using the breath and using the power of the mind. And we underestimate our own power to be able to generate heat just from the will of that whole mental mindset, that we can basically visualize fire within our body. Fire is part of our elemental universe and is a part of us. So we can use the power of our mind to, if we allow ourselves to sit still, to visualize and to create this heat in our body, then scientists have proven that the Tibetan monks can generate temperatures on their skin 20 to 40 degrees hotter than their internal body. And this is not doing anything different within. It's just at the skin, on the skin level. So again, that's called the Tummo, Tummo meditation. If you're interested in that, and taking your practice, if you're into meditation and you want to, or if you're into yoga meditation, that's definitely a Tibetan yoga technique that they do, and they're able to withstand temperatures. They're able to sleep in cold temperatures without where people, we have people, we have the, like for people who are in our society on the street, they have the Amber Alerts, or the I forget what they call it, but, when temperature gets to a certain level, it becomes dangerous for people to be out on the street. So again, it just goes to show that, as human beings, we can, there's no excuse. We shouldn't use that as an excuse, the colder temperatures, to change our diet. Because we can, the human potential is, we definitely can sell ourselves short. So I'm a living example. Over the last 15 winters, I've been able to, not only withstand the colder temperatures, but to also, I feel, thrive. And again, if we just kind of shift our, some of the foods into some of the heat generating foods, we can use some of the heat generating techniques, as in, i.e., yoga, meditation. And then we can even it could just be as simple as taking warm baths, throughout the day, or at least once a day. So those are some of the things to think about as we move into our winter months. So again, thank you for listening to this video, and definitely check out our website, KeprasRawFoodJuiceBar.com, or ChefKepra.com. You can, I'm on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Chef Kepra. Again, it was great to share this information with you, and till next time.